Good morning and happy new year to everyone, to the HIM and RCM revenue cycle community. It's Bertram Lantico. I've made a lot of new connections over the last few weeks. And if we haven't formally met, hello, my name is Bertram, and I've been involved in the HIM industry for over 10 years, mostly on the recruiting and staffing side. Also have a little career in speaking and public speaking within revenue cycle, as well as how folks more entry level or just starting out, or let's say just transitioning into something new. Let's say you're going from coding into auditing. How can you make that happen through networking? And it's interesting because that story and that presentation is actually a testimony of my own life. When I wanted to get started in recruiting and healthcare recruiting, I hit the same wall that a lot of you did. That no one really wanted to give you an opportunity because you didn't have enough experience, right? It's almost like that catch-22. How can you get the experience? Nobody's willing to let you get that experience. So I just have a really good presentation testimony about that. So I've been speaking, I've been recruiting last 5 or so years. I also started my own staffing and recruiting agency, doing a lot more staffing these days, and that's very exciting. Hiring key team members, helping our clients. Clients think that, they have an ice of a problem when it's really an iceberg of an issues that they have. So diving into that and doing that. So I like to do these career updates and career reports on Mondays because it's the start of the week. Also gives you a fresh face as what I look like and what's going on within Renown Talent. So this is more of a Renown Talent base. Definitely feel free to say hi, jump within the comments, introduce yourselves, and I also like to share a little bit more about what we have going on in terms of speaking engagements as well as the roundups. So all of that is going to come here very soon. And yeah, let's go ahead and let's get started. So within the last few weeks, we've been extremely busy. I don't really know if I took many days off during the holidays. Of course, Christmas. I think, of course, like New Year's, because you're kind of forced to that on Sunday. But my team and I have been engaged within client things and just a lot of hirings going on over the holidays. We've also had some new clients that we've onboarded. So within all of that, there are a lot of processes and assessments that are being done, and we're unraveling issues. So you're going to hear a lot more about that on the next slide. But as to the recent opportunities that we've had, so we did fill that coding director, and that was an internal role. And I'm going to be introducing that person here very soon. We may even be looking to doing something more as a weekly compliance update, or something along those lines. So stay tuned for that. We also had some Profi ED and facility ED, Profi and physician coding opportunities. If you didn't see those postings, make sure that you're following me. And the thing is that those postings became live. I think it was like either the first or second week in December. So I know a lot of folks were already like on PTO. A lot of folks are already out of the office, not looking to change jobs, but we were able to help that client and fill those jobs pretty quickly. So all of those are filled within the staffing and recruiting world means they've identified the person, they have interviewed, tested the person, offered them the job, and the person accepted. They may be scheduled start dates. I think our first couple people start today, and the next one starts next week. So that was an amazing process, and we were quickly able to fill that. And I don't know, I've always had a knack for physician coding, even though I've definitely done a lot of facility and more hospital-based coding as well. But I've definitely spoken to some staffing company owners and recruiters, and they were having some difficulties within finding specialized physician coders. Maybe it's cardiology, maybe it's radiology, maybe it's interventional radiology, ED. They can't find them, and they need them within a really short time frame. So if that's the case, feel free to reach out to us. We can definitely help and support your team and your internal team recruiting efforts with that. Okay, some career postings we have that are possible upcoming, and I say these are possible upcoming because anything can happen at any time. So for example, we have the first one as to a coding manager. This one might need to be relatively local or regional to have some sort of on-site presence. Might also be hybrid, but that position might change into something more along the lines of just being more revenue cycle or health information manager position rather than coding manager. But I think considering the facility size, and it's a rather smaller hospital, that's probably better to have someone from a coding background, because if they can also code, that can help out a lot. They can bounce around a lot. If they can audit and do all of those things, and also oversee or be more of our company's on-site presence or client-facing person. So that's definitely a possibility, something that's coming up. We can also use rather immediately, though, a senior coding specialist. or consultant. So this person would be able to code, be able to audit, and also be able to educate. Um, I wouldn't necessarily say this person would be an auditor full time, but they can definitely help out. Or I'm also looking, or if you, let's say, are an inpatient coder and you've been, coding inpatient for a long time, and you're looking to go to the next level, and you're really seeking the next opportunity, this might be a really good opportunity for you. Because what we talked about a little bit earlier, right? The whole catch-22, like trying to get that experience when you may not have that experience. If you have the right background, if you have some of the right experience, we may be able to give you more exposure to that to get you to be let's say a full-time auditor, right? But you've had a lot of years or a lot of success in doing the high level inpatient or outpatient coding. So if that's you, feel free to reach out to us. Feel free to reach out to me, and we can definitely get you connected and see how we can possibly collaborate. So that's the thing. As much as I know it's going to be helpful for us to get the best and the brightest and the most tenured for our clients and for our team, anytime that we have an opportunity to groom someone within a position, I want to be able to do that because we can pass those cost savings on to the client, but also we can help people grow. And one of the big issues that we have created within staffing, right? And I'll say it, one of the big issues we've created within staffing is that we have made almost everything siloed. Okay. So for example, way back old school, think 20, 30 years from in the past, when you were an ED coder at a facility, you usually started on site, but you had the other coders there, outpatient and inpatient, and you would start doing, maybe an outpatient coder was sick, you start doing some outpatient senior surgeries. And then, okay, you learned that. Now you're doing both ED as well as outpatient. And then, inpatient person would be sick, or they're like grooming you into that position, and now you're able to do that. But one of the big issues that we're having with remote is that you're hired for a remote ED coding position and you don't have any chance to network, talk to, or even know who the other outpatient coders are for your team or for your company. And it's at such a very high level, it's very likely that they're not going to give you an opportunity, even on your own time, to code and grow to outpatient, to inpatient, to an auditor. A lot of companies are struggling with that. And a lot of companies are very happy to say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to have all my ED coders and they're just going to code ED. And there's a lot of work for that. But the issue is, and the issue becomes as to, does that person want to do that for 5 years, 10 years, or forever? I definitely know that there are folks, even in stages of my career, I've been very happy to be siloed and, let's just say, hone in on recruiting and be proficient at that and just do that to the best of my abilities. But what if I wanted to do something else? It's really good that you can work with a company that can help you grow. So long story short, any chance that I get an opportunity to have somebody, let's say, code, but start doing some auditing or learning the auditing process and then doing some education, I think there are gold mines there. And some of the corporations I've had the pleasure of working with, they've had great success and track histories as to, hey, we took that person and they were just doing, let's say, profi coding, switch them to ED, to outpatient, to inpatient, and now they're a coding manager. And it's like, wow. And you know what happens? Usually those individuals tend to stay with that company because they know any chance and opportunity that they'll get, that they'll help them grow. And it becomes a real difficult job for me as a recruiter, as a business owner, as a person looking to grow my own staffing firm, to hire those people because they're not looking to move. So what am I doing? I'm waiting until they mess up because everybody messes up every now and again. But I really have respect for those companies. So if you're working for one of the big guys and you're seeking other opportunities as you can grow, I'm gonna be a conduit to kind of help you. I'm not there yet, or we're not there yet to, let's say, have every single person that's entry level, doesn't really have a lot of experience, reach out to us. We don't really have a lot of those opportunities. I would highly recommend you to look towards HCC coding and some of those lower level requirement positions. Maybe it's part-time, maybe it's nights and weekends, but the best thing you can do, get your hands on some experience. Nobody can take it away from you, and that you can put it on your resume, and that's going to help you with other positions. And you just have to grow. When I started my recruiting career, they told me it was going to be HIM, RCM. I didn't have a choice as if it was going to be nurse recruiting or physician recruiting or some other recruiting things that I was interested in. But after I did that for a while, I got other opportunities to do all types of recruiting, including IT and, all of that stuff. If I wanted to, let's say, specialize within physician recruiting and nurse recruiting, I could have done that as well. I could even started the company and just have that as to be our focus. So you'll get those opportunities, but when you're starting out, the best piece of advice I can ask you to do is to network and to be flexible. Just try your best to get your hands on some sort of experience so you can get out there. Okay. But I definitely know we can utilize somebody that can be a coding consultant for us and that can bounce around. So if you have coded, if you have some auditing experience, and if you have some education experience, we're looking to get more into that. We definitely have to connect with you and see how we can collaborate. Okay. And these have to be US based positions. Okay. And of course, as everybody needs, right? Everybody needs inpatient coders. And we know that this is coming up and we're going to need them. How many and to what skill set? All of that stuff. I mean, it's likely going to be more low-level trauma or community-based hospital, 300 or so bed, but we know that we're going to need inpatient coders, probably anywhere between 4 to 5, depending. Um, but we are not going to be quick to hire and then quick to fire. Ideally, we want to do our assessments. We want to make sure that the team that's currently in place is fully utilized to the best of their abilities, maybe some education opportunities. And once the dust settles, then we'll really be able to see. Because I've had it happen so many times on the staffing side that you're trying your best to help your clients and they'll tell you, we need 10 inpatient coders. Cool. Recruiting team will go find 10 inpatient coders. We come to the gate like, hey, we're ready to party. Yes, thank you so much. We really only need 5. And you never want that situation. Skill set as inpatient, yes, those other 5 remaining inpatient coders can go to another client, but you don't want that to be your reputation. And I've hated to make those phone calls, and it happens sometimes. And some people have left jobs and done all of that stuff, and we're not going to do that at Renown Talent. So we need to make sure and double check and quadruple check our numbers. Things can change at any time, but I'm telling you, you can have very drastic change in numbers depending on utilization, productivity, and exactly what's going on in terms of compliance and if people are at the right accuracy and all of those things. So, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, for the most part, that's really what we have going on right now. I do have some in-person speaking engagements I'm going to be announcing here very soon. So stay tuned for that. And the roundup. So we are a new connection, or if you've heard of the roundups, so the roundups are essentially a networking event that I created to get us together that we can talk about and we can all learn more about revenue cycle, because revenue cycle is a lot more than medical coding. Medical coding is a big part of it, right? A lot of clients will reach out to us and they'll say, hey, we need help, and get us 5 inpatient coders. They recognize where their issue is, but until you really dig into the details, they may not even necessarily know a lot of the issues that's going on. And that's why the coders or a subject matter expert can help them, or having the right staffing partner. But it's been great because we've been able to share jobs and opportunities. If you're currently looking for an opportunity, experience or inexperience, you can go ahead and share information. We'll share it with our network. We will have a live Mr. B where you can ask me a question and I'll answer it live for you. Depending on the questions that get submitted, sometimes I have to have those questions beforehand, but if you want to ask me a question live, we can definitely do that. If you have questions for our speaker while they're on there, 30 to 45 minutes, we're going to have that. And this coming up roundup, that's going to be next week, Wednesday. The speaker that we're going to have is all about certifications and CEUs. So she's a certification CEU expert. Essentially, it's Kenja. So she's going to help us figure out and just answer a whole bunch of questions about certifications. She's the type of person, if you have tried to take the CCS test and failed, she's the person you usually turn to help you figure out where you messed up. So the next time you take it, you're able to pass. And the fantastic thing about our company is that it's a small company. Through the roundup, you can get a 10% discount, as well as they have workshops. So they have these weekend workshops. You can do a weekend workshop to, let's say, to take that CCS, and then you'll take the CCS right after that, and you should pass it. So they have a really good completion and success rate with that. But she's going to talk to us all about that. I want to ask her questions about more of the recent rumblings I've heard within the HEMA requirements. So correct me if I'm wrong, feel free to comment, but I've heard that a HEMA is now requiring at least 40%, or they've put a delay on that till next year. 40% of the CEUs for your certification have to be from a HEMA or an HEMA approved vendor that's either listed on their website or in their web store, in their web marketplace, something like that. That is huge, because a lot of folks are able to get certifications from other places, maybe even through their employers, and send them to a HEMA. But if they're requiring 40%, what about the cost difference in that as to what folks have to pay? So Very interesting. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen, and she may have some great insight for us. But if you're interested in learning more about certifications and just being a part of the roundup, being a part of our community is fantastic. The viewership, I'm telling you, it's crazy because I'll see on there that we'll have like 30 or so views. But in terms of impressions and people that have clicked or commented, we'll have 1,000 or 1,100, for example. That was on the last one. So I don't necessarily know if the viewership really matters, but I'm hearing a lot more people talk about how they've seen the roundups or how they've seen us, or maybe I was able to give them or keep them motivated during their job search that they're able to find them. And we've had some successes because that's the mission of the roundup. The roundup is to really help all of us be more knowledgeable so we can go into these interviews, or we can network, or we can know more people to land us more opportunities, because I truly believe that the only difference between you and where you're looking to go, no matter what it is in life, whether it's fitness or that job opportunity, growing your company, starting your company, is really only one connection. Just one connection, just that one person that you can have in your network, just that one mentor can make all of the difference. So look forward to speaking with her on that. And that's next week, Wednesday. During this week, I'll probably post some snippets of recent roundups so you can kind of get a feel as to what we've done, or some of the golden moments or golden nuggets we've had in the roundup, because I've also learned so much from our speakers in the roundup. I remember Sarah Reagan, she shared with us how she went to a scheduled job interview. She got lost at the hospital, but the same day, at the same time she was supposed to have her interview, there was another job fair for another department, and she got hired on the spot for patient financial services. And look at her now, she's now a coder. She even has she does resume creating business. So if you're looking for a resume, reach out to Sarah Reagan as well. Crazy. All of that wouldn't have happened if she didn't actually go to the hospital for the interview, but maybe that was destiny, some of us would say. So either way, thank you for being a part of this. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I have a few comments. Not all the comments for the streaming platform that we're using, not all the comments for some reason show up in the comment section that I have. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this out. I'm going to go to the comments and I'm going to respond to each and every one of you that have commented, whether it was a hi, hello, and all those things. So I'll see you probably next week, Monday. We'll do another career report, just let you know what's going on, what has been filled, what we're looking on the horizon, as well as a roundup. And we do have a roundup mailing list. So just in case you don't happen to, let's say, follow me or see me on LinkedIn, or you don't check your email that week, or you don't log online because you're traveling or whatever, I will usually send that out a few days prior to the roundup, so everybody has the latest link. They know exactly where to go, what time is happening, and all of those things. So really appreciate each and every one of you. I know the start of the new year. Make it great. I know we're all trying our best to get in the gym, pay off those credit card bills, get the kids in shape, back in school, and all those things. So it's a hectic week for each and every one of us, but do it with grace and be renowned in everything you do. And I'll see you guys next time. It's Bertram. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.